There's a time to live, a time to cut, and a time to be lazy as fuck. Time Cut is a Netflix original written and directed by Hannah McPherson, who's done television and shorts. Check out our IMDb page for the full list of her work. And also written by Michael Kennedy! Kennedy! Who did Freaky and It's a Wonderful Knife. Oh. Check out It's a Wonderful Knife. It was pretty goddamn entertaining. Justin Long was quite entertaining as well. This has Madison Bailey as Lucy, who's living in 2024. Hey, that's the year this movie came out in. And she doesn't feel like she fits in. She just feels like her parents don't really care that much about her. And then she ends up going with her parents to basically honor her sister's memory. She was not very old when her sister passed away due to the Sweetly Slasher. No, really, that's the name of the goddamn slasher. And after that, basically, we weren't sure what was going on. Like, oh my god, like, somebody just killed a bunch of teenagers. Well, a few. And then that was it. And then the parents and Lucy are just there. And then Lucy's going around the grounds of where this party took place, where her sister got killed. Her sister Summer, played by Antonia Gentry. Because she keeps on dancing, she keeps on going around, and then work it, baby. Come on, show me how you screw up the lyrics for the Gentrys. Nevertheless, she then finds a time machine in the barn area, as you do. A time machine that just happens to be there. And she's transported back to just before these murders take place. She must solve this mystery and fit in to 2003 before she is history. And we go with Time Cut Tales. Woohoo! Hey, wait a second. Somebody going back in time to prevent murders. That's just the plot of the Amazon original Totally Killer. Also has a dash of It's a Wonderful Knife. Look, I'm just going to be perfectly honest here. I didn't have high hopes for Time Cut, and while I think the cast certainly tries, this is unabashedly lazy and one of the most dull slashers I have seen in quite a while. It also features an over-reliance on commercialized music. We have Wheatus's Teenage Dirtbag. We have Michelle Branch's All You Wanted, which I do have to say Michelle Branch is actually terrific in concert. I saw her, God, it has to have at least been 20, 21 years ago. And, yeah, What's Love Got to Do with It by Fat Joe and Complicated by Avril Lavigne. And it's really an over-reliance on commercialized music. 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton. I could just go on. And look, I wouldn't have minded this movie, even though Totally Killer did just come out last year, if there was at least some effort put into this. There wasn't. The characters are pretty lazy. It's not that the actors were bad, it's just that the characters are really lazily written. And also, it's super obvious who the fucking killer is from the very beginning. If you cannot figure out who the fucking killer is, there you go. I don't really know what to tell you. So, on April 18, 2003, all this shit goes down, and then we go to 2024. Lucy feels like she doesn't fit in, didn't really know her sister, all that stuff, and then slashy time travel fun. Fun, at least in quotation marks. Yeah, Time Cut just isn't very fucking good. And unfortunately, it tends to drag on for the 90-minute runtime that it goes, and while I understand this movie is supposed to be made for entertainment purposes, that only helps if you have entertainment in it. Basically what happens when a bright, shining star dies, you get a lazy concept like this. I'm going to get into spoilers because it will not take very long, but that being said, 3, 2, 1's on Netflix, spoilers. So, basically, in the beginning, not only was there rap, as our Lord and Savior Dr. Dre once said, but we see Summer at this party, at this barn. This guy, Quinn, tries to hand her something, a letter. Just Quinn's a good friend of hers. We find out just how good of a friend a little bit later on. And also, Summer has an ex-boyfriend named Ethan. A little more on that here in a bit. And then we get the slashy stuff where basically she gets killed with a scythe. I don't know why that was so funny to me, but it just was. 3 teens have died, and then Summer ends up being the 4th, and we just end up having weird shit going on. By the way, this totally gets thrown out the window a little bit later in some really, really lazy killings. Like, you thought the Fear Street, finale was a little bit lazy. This was really fucking lazy. So, yeah, Lucy ends up finding the time travel machine, and that's about it. Also, before that, she found a letter from somebody called E. Like, you may be able to live with this, but, just some kind of, like, haunting letter. Like, oh, it's from Ethan, her ex. No, it's actually not. It's not, because the handwriting is just a little bit too... It's not to Ethan's style. The character of Ethan doesn't even look like he could form letters without help. The character, not the actor. So, time travel piece of equipment in the barn. She easily sells into 2003. Her smartphone somehow still works. Not enough to connect to a wireless network because, well, it's 2003. And then she ends up meeting a guy named Quinn. The teacher is still the same guy, by the way, just de-age. She finds Quinn, saves him from getting attacked and thrown in a river, which would create a pair of docks, because he knows all about time travel and fun and science. So she sees her sister. She must play it off. She tells Quinn about time travel. It turns out that Quinn knows quite a bit about this stuff. You could create some issues, and also this time machine that he helps her just bring into his garage that he just happens to have on his parents' property. And about right there, we see like the fact that it needs some antimatter to basically have these two lasers go and transport people back. So, by the way, the whole letter from E, it turned out to be from a friend named Emmy. And Emmy and Summer liked each other. Yes, it was a gay relationship back in 2003, which, honestly, it's kind of baffling that gay people ever were made to feel insignificant, like they couldn't love who they wanted to love. This is boring. The writing is not good, is what I noted, because even though it had ideas, it had no way to execute them properly. So, she gets to know her sister that she never actually got to know. And the killer, just standing there among these mannequins, nobody noticed in this department store in a mall. Remember malls, kids? Remember those? Just standing there in the stupid mask and killing people, killing a couple people. One guy killed with a broken CD and then killed another girl on an escalator. But that security guard also died. He wasn't supposed to die. So Lucy is causing a paradox or an issue. So then she must sleep in a boat, a driveway boat, and Quinn is bound and determined to help her. So the idea is break into the power plant that her dad works in and steal some of this antimatter stuff, and there we go. The modem sound. My God, the memory's there. Back in 2003, we still had dial-up shit. Yeah. So, Quinn wants to really peek at the future and see, what's my future like? Ha 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 ha. We find out a little bit later. So, Lia the sister, you have a great life and a husband and everything. That's where the sister knows that things are bullshit. So, they decide to go save this one girl at this marine museum. Kind of funny, I don't know why. Well, they go to save somebody at the museum, but it's just funny. This location seems like a great idea. Let's go do this. And then it just doesn't really, it doesn't really amount to much. Like, the killer is like really ineffective. So Summer and Lucy basically have a discussion during all this, and then Lucy talks to her parents that they don't know that they're her parents. And have you ever thought of having another kid? Well, no, not really. But then, of course, after Summer passed, they decide to have another kid. And there we are. So, yeah, technically, I guess I was just a little bit off. She wasn't very young when her sister died. She never knew her goddamn sister. But she was born soon after the death of her sister, because when in mourning, do the boinking. So if Summer dies, then Lucy will never be able to be born. It'll be like she never existed. But she never felt like she existed in her current life anyway. They never really expanded on this. Yeah, they're mourning the fact that they lost their daughter, but they probably still love their sister, or probably still love Lucy and wanted her to have a sister. Also, a little bit earlier, before all this time travel thing happened, she got an internship at NASA. And Lucy and Quinn, they got into the facility easily, but then one of the security guards is dead because another bit of antimatter was stolen. So the killer's from the future. Gee, I wonder who the fuck it is. So then at the party, Summer's there and kisses Emmy, and then she finds the killer. The killer's gonna, get her. Then suddenly Quinn, along with Lucy, runs them over, or runs into the killer. But then the killer's mask is broken, and he takes it off, and oh my god, it's future Quinn. Why is it future Quinn? Because in his timeline, he was thrown in the river, Summer left, and that was his way to basically, he was going to confess his feelings, but then decide, I'm just going to kill everybody. That's it. That's fucking it. That's literally it right there. Then, it's just so stupid because Summer and Quinn and past Quinn stay behind. Lucy and future Quinn get sent back into current day. And she ends up shocking him with an EV plug and everything when his knife goes into it. And then she ends up stabbing him. And then she comes back to 2003 and said, yeah, I didn't really fit in there, so I decided to just come back to the past and just do this. And who the fuck wrote this? It's not sweet, it's not endearing, it's not humorous. It's just bland, it's gruel. It's not good. It gets an F. Good God. So many things wrong with this movie. Even if you take it as entertainment, so many things wrong with this movie. Gets a goddamn F. Agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rentlin. I'll see you soon.